The next class of escort destroyer to be commissioned was the 1,450-ton Rudderow class. Again, these ships were basically a modification of the Buckley class. Like them, they used steam-powered turbo-electric propulsion, as reduction gearing still hadn't caught up to demand. Unlike them, production of 5-inch guns had finally caught up to the demand. Because of this turbo-electric propulsion and 5-inch gun armament, they're sometimes known as the TEV, or more properly, TE5 type. Besides the change in armament, they were also given a lower and enclosed bridge. By the time these ships began commissioning in late 1943, the U-boat war in the Atlantic was clearly on its way to being won, even as the island hopping in the Pacific was gathering steam. To adapt to this changing need, most ships commissioned after mid-1944 were completed as destroyer transports, or APDs. The Rudderows began entering service the last day of 1943 with the commissioning of USS DeLong. 22 were ultimately completed as destroyer escorts, 1 post-war. Of these, 1, Bray, was converted into an APD in July of 1945. The remaining 50 were completed as APDs along with Bray. These are sometimes known as the Crosley class. 3 of these were completed post-war. Armament was 2 5-inch 38 caliber dual-purpose guns in 2 enclosed turrets, 1 forward and 1 aft. A triple-tube torpedo mount was stationed behind the funnel. Again, Hedgehog was fitted behind the forward 5-inch gun. 2 depth charge rails were still fitted at the stern, as were 8 depth charge launchers. Of note, even though these ships had the 5-inch 38 caliber, like all DEs, in light of their sub-hunting function and to speed production, they were not fitted with the famous Mark 37 fire control. Propulsion was a near repeat of the Buckleys. A pair of boilers venting to one funnel provided power to motors that produced 12,000 horsepower for the ship's twin propellers, giving them a top speed of 24 knots. Of the ships completed as DEs, modifications were standard. The torpedo tubes were replaced with more light and medium anti-aircraft guns, and radar was upgraded. The APD conversion was similar to the Buckleys. The rear 5-inch gun, torpedo tubes, and depth charge launchers were replaced with 2 pairs of midship davits, a pair on either side. These allowed the ships to carry 4 36-foot landing craft for 160 troops and their equipment. No Rudderows were sunk during the war.